is Monica with Looking for Group. Today I'm here with Michael Hansen, the esports head coach at Nichols College. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing really well. Thank you for asking. Happy to have you here. Thanks so much for giving up some of your time to have this interview.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me today.
Of course. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the questions. I'm really interested to hear about the history of the program at Nichols. How did it get started?
So, this is a relatively new program at Nichols College. It actually started last year. I started off as a player there. I'm a first year head coach there right now. But last year we started with Rocket League, League of Legends, Hearthstone, and I believe those were our main three. We tried getting NBA in there as well, but we missed the cutoff because it was a very late start to the program. It started. The program was able to get started through donations through our alumni.
Oh,
Our
excellent.
alumni had, yeah, they had donated a large sum of money to get the room and all the equipment needed for this program, and we couldn't be any more happy for them to do this for us. It was very generous of them. But as the program moved along, I got brought in as a GA this year, which so I'm on a 2 year there right now, and we are looking to compete in Overwatch this year, as well as Rocket League and League of Legends. And this was just due to popularity on campus and just what people wanted to sign up for. And so right now we have a League of Legends team, we have two Rocket League teams, and we have a Overwatch team as well.
Excellent. And you said you were a player for the team. Which team did you play on?
I played on Rocket League, so
Ah, very
me,
nice.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Of course, with any program starting off, there's always going to be growing pains, but we were able to really overcome them relatively quickly and be able to get on the same page. And this year, the strides that have been made are tremendous, and it's just amazing to see the growth between year one and two so far.
That's excellent. And I'm sure as a student, those growing pains were really complicated to deal with, especially as you transitioned into this professional side of it. Now, this question isn't on the list, but I'm curious about if you can share anything about your transition and what made it easy, what made it difficult. And, students who are listening now who might be thinking about getting this kind of career in the future, what kind of advice would you give?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit there,
Oh, sorry
but
about that.
I think the question, I think the question at hand was what made me want to transition
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
player to coach.
How did it go? What kind of advice would you give any other students who are looking to do the same?
Honestly, it was for me. It was relatively smoothly. It was something that I've always done. So, to really give you the full answer on this, I need to go back a little bit. When I first started off in esports, I started off on an NHL team, and so this was back in, oh god, 2014, 2015, something like that. It was because I've always been a very competitive person. And so when I first started off in esports, it was because I had received my ninth concussion through contact sports, and I wasn't able to play any more contact
Oh,
sports.
wow.
I know it's a little gruesome, but it's really what made me transition over because I still always had that competitive spirit, and I always had that wanting to play something. And so I found myself playing video games more and more, especially as my time healed and I wasn't able to play any more sports.
Mm.
So with my free time, it kind of allocated towards games that I was good at, being NHL. And I joined an NHL team shortly after that. And it was more of a, I've always been in a leadership role. And so I was the captain of that team for about 2 years before I went on to college, and I didn't have the time for it. And I didn't know at the time that I could play in college, which was really, I wish I knew now. But I always had that leadership role, and then when I got brought on the Rocket League team, I actually was the captain of that too. So I always had a little bit of leadership in me. And then when I was at Nichols College, they really focus on leadership and how to be a leader. And right, like right now, one of my main projects is how anybody can be a leader, and how like the best way to lead is. So they really bring out the best in you to make that transition. So for me personally, when I was at Nichols College, they had prepared me to be a leader in the workforce, which allowed me to be a leader on this team and be the head coach. And it just really, all the lessons I had just really came together and just clicked for me.
That's an awesome answer. I really like to hear that. So, with the leadership in mind, what kinds of things do you do as a coach to teach your students leadership abilities?
To teach them leadership abilities, right now, uh, one things that I've been trying to teach them a lot is I'm trying to think of the right word for it, but humility.
Mm,
As we go on, one of the Rocket League tournaments, we played against the fifth ranked team in the tournament. We played against Florida Poly, and we had to take that loss in stride. We knew, going into it, we tried our best, but ultimately when we lost, it was something that was expected. They went on to, I think they made it into the finals, and I think they actually won it. But being able to handle the loss and then how to actually analyze it, and coming from a perspective of, hey, this isn't bad, but here's how we can improve.
it's a learning experience, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like everything here can be taken as a learning experience. There's all you got to really do is just break it down and just come to them at the angle that people need it. So every single person's different for how they want to be brought up information. Some people on the team like being brought on harder, be like, hey, this is where you messed up.
Mm-hmm.
How what had happened. And they want the blunt answer, and then other people just want kind of like how they can just improve. They just
Okay.
want, instead of just coming at them at the parts of what went wrong, be like, what can we improve on?
Okay.
And finding the balance in between that, and then finding being able to explain that to the team, and then having them break it down with them themselves has been the biggest testament to this team so far. And it's been gelling really well, and you can see every week you can see the improvement just gain more and more.
That's awesome. You're measuring those results really well, it seems.
Yes.
That's
So
excellent.
all of them have been able to take it very well, and we found a rhythm that really worked for us. And right now, it's just getting all the practice in and getting ready for our major tournament, which is the CSL, which is a weekly tournament, or not tournament, but you play in a conference and you have a game every week. So
Yeah.
just preparing for that is what they're really glad for, and they're taking everything super well, and they're taking everything constructively, and
So
it's been just a great product so far.
that's great. And you kind of segued very organically into the next question I had. Can you tell me a little bit about the leagues that your team competes in, how often, and kind of what the commitment expectations are?
Definitely. So the one great thing about Nichols College, and the one great thing about what I've learned so far, is I'm really good at balancing other people's times.
Mm,
So right now on our team we have about seven student athletes, and they range from football to we have some hockey kids, we have some lacrosse kids, we have some soccer kids, we have rugby. And the one thing with that is that everyone has chaotic schedules.
mm-hmm.
And so what we do here is we try to finding the best schedule for everyone. And luckily there's always a little bit of time, because it's honestly like when you would be playing normally. So we usually right now our schedules are a little bit later, so everyone can go to class, everyone can have their practice, everyone can go shower and eat, and then come back and focus and ready. And so that's how the scheduling works, is that I take everyone's schedule and I literally write down every single block that can't happen. And then I work my way from there to finding it out. But with the leagues, so we compete mainly through the CSL right now, which is the Collegiate Star League. They, for I know for Rocket League, they compete once a week on, I believe, Saturdays at 3. I think they may have changed it for this year. Because they haven't officially released the information yet,
Okay.
but they're we're in Northeast Conference 10, which the Conference 10 doesn't really mean anything. There's multiple conferences, and they try balancing it out as much as possible. So last year, some of the teams we played was Wentworth, who went on to, I believe they placed second in the entire tournament. We played Northeastern, Boston University, Ferris State, Roger Williams, and this is gonna kill me that I can't remember all the teams right now. But It's a variety of schools. What I'm trying to get at is
Okay.
RIT is another big one that we play. That we play big and small schools, and that they get integrated into this. That it does like there's not really a division per se
Hmm.
because they all just play against each other.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like a lot of friendly competition going on. So with the program
Yes.
being with the program being so new and your teams competing so frequently, can you tell me a little bit about the facilities you have available? What kinds of computers you have, the space that's available to you, and do students have to bring their peripherals? What kinds of things do you set them up with to make sure that they're going to succeed?
Yeah. So right now, we had to move our room just
Okay.
because everything with COVID. So we made it COVID friendly. We actually took over one of the classrooms and just put all the hardware that we had into one of the classrooms,
Okay.
so that they were able to socially distance while they were in these rooms competing. But the room that we usually are in is built as just specifically for esports. Like everything is connected to the computers. It's absolutely stunning. Like all the lights are connected. They have reactive sounding, like with the in the back of it. But the computers we run are Alienware, uh, and I'm I can get you the specs for it after. I can pull up all the information about that. I'm sorry that I don't have it right in front of me,
No worries.
but I remember that it's all Alienware technology, and from a competing standpoint from last year, it's probably the one of the best computers I've played on personally. They are just so incredibly fast and powerful. Like it caught me by surprise with just how much faster these computers run than like what I was used to playing on.
Accessibility is
Uh,
everything, isn't it?
oh yeah, like it was crazy just the difference between like my normal computer and then these computers here. But for preferences, we actually allow students if they want to use their own computer, we don't mind that.
Okay.
If they have a preference on what they want to use, like if they have their own setup that they like, we don't we don't make them use our setup because once again, since everything's online, we can just connect that way.
True.
But with the networks here, we just can get them connected to the privatized networks just for these games, which is one of the great things. Like because Nichols College's Wi-Fi can be all over the place at times, but having a privatized server just for these computers was just that made the difference. It was unbelievable to play on. Everything ran so smoothly, so quickly. It was just shocking.
That is excellent. Awesome. It sounds like you guys have a pretty good facility, and there's going to be a space on the profile to have your photos as well. So students will be able to see that right on your profile near this interview. But I have
Perfect.
one other question for you. It sounds like you've had some experience working with students for a while and understanding what they're looking for. So I want to ask you, generally or specifically, you can answer the question any way you'd like. What kind of advice would you give students who are seeking entry into collegiate programs, either specifically at Nichols or generally as they go about their college search?
Yeah. So me personally, as I was a 4 year student here, the biggest thing I can say for people who are entering the college scene is kind of just actually, the main thing that I can offer people is to be yourself and see what you would like. You got to do this for you because in the end, it's going to be your choice and you want to be happy with it. So for
Right.
me personally, I wanted a small school just because my high school had we had the biggest class size that they've seen in years, and that was 120 people. Our school size was about 400, and so for me personally, I wanted a smaller school that like focused on business. So Nichols was great for me, and they allowed me to grow into the person I am today. Um, it was really for people that are looking at colleges. You gotta, you just gotta be honest with yourself and
Mm-hmm.
just think about what will make you happy. Like, if you want that big school, go for that big school. If you want that small school, go for that small school. If you're not really sure, take some tours of the places that you have in mind. Like for me personally, I toured UMaine, I toured Nichols College, I toured Colby, I toured a couple other schools as well, but in the end, I just knew that
Mm.
Nichols was the one for me after I got off the campus. And I looked at my dad and I told him, I'm going.
Yeah. That happened to me too with my college search. I went to so many different schools and I got out at my alma mater, Albright College, and I was like, "Mom, this is it. This is the
Yeah,
school." You just feel the vibes when you get on campus, and that's why the visit is so crucial. Um,
it, it it's hard to explain why it was,
or
but
how, like where it
you
comes
just
from.
know. Exactly. You just know as
Yeah.
soon as you get off the campus, you're sitting there and you're just like, that's where I want to go.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. That's again, I really drill in the visit to students. But is there a way that students can get in touch with you, either A, for like a one-on-one conversation, or B, a tour of your facility? Is there like a contact page or a Twitch channel or something that students can look for to ask you more questions?
Actually, we are starting a Twitch channel for Nichols College right now.
Oh, great.
But some of our uh, we have a few different social medias that we're getting started as well. Because everything was so new, we didn't actually have time to set up social medias last year. So we're looking to improve on social media posts this year. Some of our social medias are. Let me pull that information up for you.
Sure.
It is our Twitter is NC Bison underscore esports. And that's actually the same as our Instagram too, is NC Bison underscore esports. My personal email is michael.hansen at nichols.edu. If you have any questions about the program or anything like that, feel free to reach out. Or even if you just want to talk about what you're searching for in a college, I'm more than happy to help other people with that because I had a lot of people help me with it. And honestly, it was just so nice having people who had gone through college
Yeah.
and who were willing to sit down with you. And I'm not this big scary person. I'm only 22, so I'm still really young. Like personally, I feel old, but like I'm only 1 year out of college, and I'm more than willing to sit down with anyone that has any questions about college. Even if you don't want to come to Nichols College, if you just
Yeah.
have questions about college in general, like I made this huge transition from I was very antisocial. I didn't. Oh my god! If you asked me to do this interview about I want to say four no 5 years ago, I would have been so nervous. I don't even know I would be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But after coming to college, I flipped out the entire script. Like on the MBTI assessments, I was 30 introvert before college, and now I want to say 29, 30 extrovert. So
Wow.
literally the entire thing flipped.
Wow. It's
But
incredible how transformative the experience can be.
yeah, and I definitely I want to help other people too, and that's just who I am. I like helping other people.
I like that. And I think that's an awesome place to leave this interview off. You guys heard it here first. If you need help with your college search, hit up Michael Hansen at Nichols. But thank you so much for your time today for this interview. It was really great to hear about all those different opportunities you have there. It sounds like you're shaping your student body for the quote unquote real world, in addition to being good competitors on the esports playing field.
Yes, and oh my gosh, thank you for having me. This has been such a blast so far.
Of course.